Hey everybody, BTO Pro here again, back with a different hat this time. The same stupid glasses because when I wear contacts, the blue light filter in this makes it so my eyes don't hurt when I stare at this gigantic monitor. It's an acceptable size. Anyway, we're back with another part of this series. So this part of the series is moving on to an actual endpoint that is used, for real purposes. So no more that DuckDuckGo. Again, it was purely example. Let's do a real thing, shall we? So we're going to cover Markdown to HTML and HTML to Markdown. So what is the use case? Well, aside from uh, implementing in a way that would make Alex Russell cry, which is he's a guy from Twitter, former Google, works on Edge, really, really harps on people for not just taking packages from npm and loading up the page payload with JavaScript. Please don't do that. In general, minimum JavaScript as possible to get the page to work. So in this case, what am I talking about? I'm talking about this capability that we had as a requirement in Hacks, our content management / text editing system. So imagine I'm going to content and I say, hey, I want to edit this page. And I actually skipped ahead a step. And I click view source, which this is the content of our documents, all HTML because it's all web components based. And I can get the source via VS Code, which is also a web component. Okay, so I need users to be able to import Markdown because they come to us with content that's in Markdown because they've delivered online courses previously using Markdown. Or they want to take their content and they say, I'm done with you. I hate all your HTML. Why would we ever want to use standards? I need my Markdown. So then we let them download their Markdown and go about their ways. So that's the whole use case, is being able to convert HTML to Markdown, Markdown to HTML, right? So that our users can meet this need. Now, I could very easily just go on NPM and Google what I just said, like convert Markdown to HTML, and then get some package that works in the browser. And then voila, it's done. I don't care about the payload that I just added. So we didn't do it that way because going with the laws of Russell, I need as little JavaScript as possible on the front end, but it doesn't mean I don't use JavaScript. So this is where microservice comes into play perfectly here. And I still get my super performant workflows involving NPM. All right, so what we're looking at here is back in that core, enabling core services, we've got MD to HTML and we've got HTML to MD, right? So one way, the other way. Reading this, we can see then I can easily call core MD HTML, and we've got the endpoints here, right, in a way that's, it's a service, it's going to handle media, it's a format change, and this is the format change, is the way that I've structured these naming conventions for these two. You can see both of them either take a HTML or Markdown based parameter and then type, and I'll show what type does, but basically allows you for either loading off of a remote file, like a link to go get for the content that you're supplying, or to actually just go and do the thing. So let's see in the example that's out on the web here. So I'll go and play with it. So this is in the article, but you can see I can take content and write it in this box. This is Markdown. Cool stuff. This is a p tag. Right? Very easy to write, but then I hit this arrow. It's going to ship it off to our endpoint and convert it back to HTML. And now, if you need a demonstrative example as to why I'm not a huge Markdown fan, because it's not a standard, it's a convention, I'm going to go from HTML back to Markdown. And it's not the same. Yay! But if I take just trolling. If I take it over here and I convert it again, no change, right? Because it's exactly the same. I'm going to delete the text here so that we know, yes, and it's instantaneous because I already did it once and it's cached. Woo! Edge caching. All right. So let's take a file that is a remote HTML file in this case. So let's get tech Joker, inspect, okay, network, reload, do a fetch here. There's an index. All right. So this is the page source that's delivering that page. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to throw it into the HTML side. I'm going to say treat this as a link, and then I'm going to send it over. And wow, that was fast. So this is that page as Markdown. All right. And this is, I like to do this in this way, right? I said what the original requirements are. Take Markdown, convert to HTML, take HTML, convert to Markdown. I like to do this in a vacuum. So our clean room vacuum environment for testing, whatever you want to call it, we're doing via the storybook here. So there is a web component here. It's purely for demonstrative purposes, just to interface with these APIs. It's called something dumb like mf-htmlMd-example. Yeah, I know, really original. And if I take out this flag, you'll see it actually is for doing a whole bunch of examples. But that is not super practical. So you can play with that online. You can mess with this going one way or the other. It's great.